Delays spread to major airports across the country as the seventh day of government shutdown impact of travelers. Washington, there will be Washington, there will not be enough air traffic controllers in the tower at Chicago over here International Airport Tuesday night. The Federal Aviation Administration is warning. In Nashville, so many controllers have stayed home the facility, which guide plans into and out of the airport is closing. Now on the seventh day of the government shutdown, the same scenario is playing out of FFA officer across the country, with the ripple effects hitting flights almost everywhere. The approach and departure facilities for Houston, New York, and Las Vegas all do not have enough controls working for least part of Tuesday evening, along with the facilities that handles plans in the Boston, Atlanta, Philadelphia, and Dallas area. FFA operational plans noted. Houston's two major airports, Hobby and George Bush International Airport, are both expected to see ground delays because of the staffing shortage. The aviation problems just 1 week into the shutdown comes as transportation security scene Duffy says more controls are calling out sick, like Transportation Security Administration officers, air traffic controllers are considered essential employee and must work despite the government lapse in funding. Organization job actions like strike or boycotts are prohibited by federal law. But since air traffic control staffing is so tight, a small number of employees taking unscheduled time off can be enough to cause problems. Tuesday staffing shortages. Chicago or International Airport is expected not to have a full complement of controllers in the air traffic control tour for 9 hours Tuesday night. The airport is one of the busiest in the country with more than 1,000 flights a day. Early Tuesday evening ground delays for flights headed average 41 minutes. In Nashville's the approach facilities which guides plans in Nashville's approach facilities which guides planes into and out of the airport had to shut down for few hours Tuesday night. Flights heading to the airport had to connect a regional air traffic control center in Memphis to enter the airspace. Ground delays for flights headed to Nashville were expected to average 2 hours Tuesday night. The problems are similar to what happened Monday at Hollywood Burbank International Airport in California, where the entire tower was forced to the shutdown. The controllers worried about how they will make ends meet. Controllers have not yet missed a paycheck but continues to worry about what happens when they do, Duffy said Tuesday. This is their leaving their concerned now if they don't get their paychecks. How do I pay my mortgage? How do I pay my car payment? What do I do to put food on the table? He said a Fox News. The next payday is October 14, but unless the government reopens before then, control will only be paid for time worked before the shutdown. If government operations have not reused, resumed, October 28 would be the first scheduled payday. Controllers aren't paid at all. The International Air Traffic Controller, the association says the representations of just a small number of controllers calling in sick show how undersatisfied the fragile the air traffic control system is. We are certifiably staffed with unreliable equipment and we deal with this issue, and it is part of the resiliency and the redundancy that we advocate for the needed that in the system, said Nick Daniel, NATCA president, in an interview with CNN Tuesday. We can work with the FFA to address the issue when they come up, make a plan, and ultimately ensure the safety of the flying public. These type of scenario aren't new creation. They are reality that air traffic controller face day in and day out. Controllers call out. The Department of Transportation has seen as an uptick in air traffic controllers calling over sick since the government shut down almost a week ago, while the union representing them has disavowed any coordinated work action. There are controls that have called up sick and we are tracking it, Duffy said on Monday. NATCA, which represents nearly 20,000 controllers, engineers, and others aviation professionals, discouraged controllers from calling in sick to protest the shutdown. We must also recognize that in the current political climate, federal employees are under heightened scrutiny, the union said a message to members on its website. We cannot stress enough that it is essential to avoid any actions that would reflect poorly on your own union or professions. What happens is people get anxious, people get nervous, and sometimes they are abuse of sick leaves, said Mary Shekels, CNN transportation analyst. Scenario investigated some of this case during her time a dot inspector general in the federal government. If you are out of sick leave for more than 3 days, you have to doctor note, Scenario said. If they are suspicion, they can request you go to the doctor. So taking sick leaves when you are not sick is always a bad idea, which is the why their controller group has called the people not abuse sick leaves. Go and do your job.